everyone, welcome to episode 50 of the podcast, and I remain your host, B. Apologies, there was no episode released last week due to some technical issues, but that has been resolved now. So for today, this is the final episode for the year 2022, and I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. I'm really looking forward to the holidays. So let's just go right into today's episode. For today, I'm just going to be sharing a few updates in respect of the AfCFTA in addition to some information concerning the priority sectors that are currently being negotiated under the trade and services. Let's go right into it. So the first information update is in respect of Nigeria. So Nigeria has validated its AfCFTA implementation strategy. That was done with the support of the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. And this has been stated, the implementation strategy is said to be a major milestone on Nigeria's journey to develop specific product and services value chains at scale for regional integration through AfCFTA. So as soon as more information is available on that, once that has been approved, then we will be sharing that on this podcast. The next one, the AfCFTA Secretariat has signed an MOU with the United States Chamber of Commerce, and the MOU is basically to promote trade and create better business environments in Africa and USA. So it's to improve trade relations between Africa and USA. That was signed at the US-Africa Leaders Summit. Then the final update is in respect of the AfCFTA Committee on Digital Trade. If you recall, for those that have been listening since the beginning of the Trading Without Borders podcast, I had mentioned that the AfCFTA agreement is divided into protocols, and they have been negotiated differently. So we have the Protocol on Trade in Goods, Protocol on Trade in Services, investments, intellectual property, we have dispute resolution, we have the Protocol on Women and Youth, and we have the Protocol on Digital Trade. So the Committee on Digital Trade held its first meeting some days ago to develop its terms of reference, guidelines and principles, key elements and roadmaps that the state parties will use in negotiating the AfCFTA Protocol on Digital Trade. So that's about it for the updates on the AfCFTA. So finally, I'm moving to the priority sectors under trade and services. If you also recall, if you also listened to previous episode, I've mentioned that there are 5 priority sectors that are currently being negotiated under the AfCFTA. Under the Trade and Services Protocol. We have the business services, communication services, financial services, tourism services, and transport services. So now I have a breakdown of what constitutes each of them, the services under each of the sectors. So that means all these are areas that the states are negotiating on and putting on their schedules of specific commitments. So under business services, we have all professional services, computer and related services, research and development services, real estate services, rental and leasing services, leasing services without operators, and other business services. For communications, we have postal services, courier services, telecommunication services, audio-visual services, and others. Then for financial services, we have all insurance and insurance-related services, banking and other financial services, and other financial services. And for tourism, we have got hotels and restaurants, including catering, travel agencies and tour operator services, tourist guide services, and others. Then for transport, that's the final one. We have maritime transport services, internal waterways transport, air transport services, space transport, rail transport services, road transport services, pipeline transport services, auxiliary to all modes of transport, and other transport services. So that means this is all these areas, service areas where the state parties are currently negotiating on, and once that has been concluded, we will get more information, and that will also be provided here on the podcast. And this is where we wrap it up for this episode, and this is the final episode for the year. And as usual, the podcast is for educational purposes only. If you need expert advice, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn, or you can also join our community where we share more information concerning the AfCFTA. And until 2023, not next week this time around, until 2023, I say bye-bye. So enjoy your holidays. Bye.